Andrew, it's great to have you on the podcast today. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. And how are you doing?
No, good, good. Yeah, I'm doing
Awesome.
really well, thank you.
Very nice.
It's great to have you on, and I really appreciate it. And I just kind of thought I'd start out by kind of asking how you kind of got into what you do, because I see from what you do in your Instagram is like you have these steel plates, if that's correct, in grills that bake pizza and many other awesome foods. Kind of
Yeah,
like,
great.
because I say I've not seen anything else like that.
Thanks, Adam. So it's interesting. I was in the food business out of like this. I'm gonna date myself now, but I was in the food business, in my young 20s. I worked in restaurants. And I loved the vibe in a restaurant. I studied culinary arts. I studied restaurant management. I worked in all different capacities. I loved it. Just really enjoyed it. But as I got older, I was doing more, management. And I worked with this great chef. His name is Todd English in the Boston area. He's like a celebrity chef. And I was originally hired making pizzas for him. But then I kind of evolved onto his management team. And so I really got a great understanding of numbers of the restaurant industry as we were trying to, create some business plans, and our places were always jam-packed. So doing business plans for someone like that is pretty easy. You can check the box for 100% capacity, pretty easy. So I was doing business plans for those, and I realized, man, like in a perfect world, the restaurant can be busy and do really well, but man, there's not a lot of margin. And I just thought, man, I'm not taught in the kitchen. So I had to take a break. So I literally took a time out. Like I was thinking about my future and my life. And I just took a break from the restaurant industry. My dad's an entrepreneur. So I grew up around him and his business throughout my entire life. And I never thought that I'd be back there as an adult, but there I was, close to 30, and I had some world experience. I thought I could help grow his business. So my brother was there, working there, and about 20 or 30 other guys. So I thought, maybe Dad's got a pretty good thing going after all, right? So there I was. He makes products made out of steel. And so his customer base would be Caterpillar. In fact, in England, there's a company called JCB. Familiar with those guys? We ship a lot overseas there, and New Holland, which is an Italian. So anyway, he makes products for backhoes, product that he created and had patented and etc. So it's made out of steel mostly and a little bit of rubber. And I've been trying to help build that business. Crushed it with the original equipment manufacturers and etc. Trying to build that brand, if you will, but more about his business. And I've been doing that for 15 or so years, but I'm a foodie, right? So, and throughout that 15 years, I continued cooking at home, making pizzas, etc. But one night at the office, I'm reading the Wall Street Journal, and I'm looking for something different in my life. And I'm reading the Wall Street Journal about the launch of this new cookbook being written called The Modernist Cuisine, and written by a scientist, Nathan Myhrvold, who is a former Microsoft executive. You can imagine this guy, literally a genius, retired Microsoft for a few billion reasons, as you can imagine, and decided to open up these test kitchens. So now you've got this scientist studying food who's really passionate about food. And he wrote this 5-volume series, beautifully written. The photography is stunning. As a foodie, I'm like, wow, what a great idea for a book. And so it was $500, maybe $600 for a copy of it for 5 volumes. I'm like, I'm not going to splurge for that. But anyway, it's interesting. The Wall Street Journal peppered some questions to Nathan. And the third question was how to create a Neapolitan style pizza in a home environment. And my eyeballs kind of blew out of my head at that point, because I had pizza stones. I had broken pizza stones. I have incredible recipes that I would make that were great in a wood-fired oven, but not so great in a home environment. And so when they asked him that question, I was like, yeah, how do you do it there, Mr. Hotshot, Mr. Scientist? And he literally said to Google your local steel shop and cut out some steel for a shelf. So I literally said, like, holy fuck, you got to be kidding me. So I ran out to my plant. I grabbed a piece of steel that we use for Caterpillar components. I brought it home that weekend and I made pizza. And for any of you listeners that make pizza at home, we struggle with a crispy crust. And for the first time, literally in like 6 or 7 minutes, I had a crispy crust. I was blown away. So I went back to my office on Monday, told my brother and my father to sit down. I've got another product idea. I told them what it was. And they basically told me to go back to my office. Good idea, but we're a construction company. Good luck trying to sell that thing. So in any case, I shelved it for a year. But I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I started other business before, and this idea just would not go away. I just kept on it, kept thinking about it. So literally, and we were too busy, by the way, to even introduce something like this. But I knew we had $1 million worth of equipment that could produce it. So 8 or 9 months later, I started making some prototypes and sending them to friends. And wouldn't you know it, I'm getting the same feedback that I received from them. So anyway, fast track a year and a half later, in 2012, I kickstarted it. And it was more for the eyeballs. I believed in the product, but it's scary, man. Trying to introduce something that no one has ever done before. I needed a sanity check. And so I went on Kickstarter with the really humble goal of trying to reach $3,000 in sales. And wouldn't you know it, we hit that in 24 hours. And, fast track 30 days, man, we sold 500 units and raised about 40 grand. I was kind of blown away, to be honest. The good news is I've got a manufacturing background, and my brother, that's what we do. So we were able to crank them out before our deadline. And, that was 2012, and it's still going strong today. It's obviously a lot has happened between now and then. Like in 2018, I spun off from my family business and became Baking Steel LLC. Our whole business is created around, it's an e-commerce business created around educating people. And we met on Instagram. I'm always just slinging pizzas and showing people how to make beautiful pizzas, and almost to a fault. Like I've had people in my Zoom classes during COVID I'm making pizzas. I'm teaching how to make pizzas. They ask me what I'm making my pizza on. They don't even know that I'm the baking steel guy. But that's always been my sales pitch. It's about education first. The sales will come later. So I'm really strong believer. That's like the Gary Vee kind of crush it. The book that in 2010 kind of mentality is just educate. And I've really been strong advocate of doing just that. And it's helped grow on our Instagram. And, really we've dialed in home pizza too, by the way, which is amazing because it doesn't get old, man. It's just
wow.
Making pizzas and realizing our product does way more than just pizza as well. So it's been pretty fascinating. And then there's the whole, side that you and I had talked about before, the whole entrepreneur side, the spiritual side of being an entrepreneur. And it's hard, man. It's a lonely business. I've got a few people that I work with now. We're trying to build our team. But with COVID hitting, et cetera, it's tough. Mindset is a huge aspect of what we do in trying to build a brand. So anyway, that's my story.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. And I really, love your product. And I love that, like you said, your family members didn't really agree on, this kind of working out to begin with. And you was able to kind of still carry that through, like a year later. And you kind of saw, hard. Yeah.
God, I still remember it, man. It's a great point. So many of us sit on ideas and we wait for it to be perfect. And I remember the entire process. And the first 6 months just scared out of my mind. Like, there's no way people are going to like this thing. So we go through that. And it's really just internal struggles. That's all we have, right? It made no sense. I was just playing it out in my mind. What if I launch this thing and nobody buys it, right? Or that's the micro. What the way I finally started looking at things is, what if and I had young kids at the time, what if I'm 60 years old or 70 years old, and I look back to that time I had that idea and I decided not to do anything about it? Like, that would really hurt. That would sting. I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want to be the guy that tried and, gave it an effort, got in the arena. So big. And so I urge anybody that's, thinking about something, just go for it, man. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just go, take that first step. Huge.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I agree. And I think like you said, it's that kind of wall. It's like that, your own wall that you kind of build, and you're kind of up against that wall, isn't it? And
yeah,
I think you think about it too much, you can almost talk yourself out of doing it. And I think, so with the podcast, I had this idea of this for about 2 years.
Wow.
And I kind of had the idea, and I remember saying to my mom, I'm going to do a podcast. And then time went by, and then, I was working in a hotel, and I found it hard to find the time to do it because the hours.
Yeah.
But then COVID happened, and I was like, so I just do it, kind of just jump into it. And I think it's great that you're doing it. You did it. You took that leap of faith almost, and just trialed it out. And like you said, I think it's far worse to have that regret of not trying. You don't want to be that person.
Big time. It's a huge step. It's like a big, once you cross that line though, once you get into that, I call it like the parallel universe. There's the universe where I'm not doing anything. I'm working my 9-to-5 job. I'm making a paycheck, etc. But then I see other people on that other side of things. They took that leap. It's really scary, but once you get in there, it's almost like, okay, I took that leap, and man, I haven't looked back since. I still pinch myself every day for saying, great job for taking that leap. If you look at my story, just everything makes sense. It looks like it was easy, but it's not, man. It's like it's a challenge, internal, mindset. And it's still today, like it's work. It takes a lot of work to get up every day and be positive, and especially with what's going on today. Turn off the news first of all, if you can. That's really important. But then too, just really focus on making yourself better, and like in different categories. In fact, just do it, and you will have no regrets. I mean, just keep it moving. Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So powerful.
I agree with you, and I think, like you said, it's having that kind of mindset, and like you said, that's where it all kind of starts, isn't it? With having that right mindset, because with everything that's happening in the world, there's a lot of kind of conflicting things, and it's not looking at the negative, not watching the news, especially before you go to bed or first thing when you wake up. I mean,
really good point. Yeah, that's a great point. I think, in fact, the same day I started my business in 2018, it was April 1st, Easter Sunday. It was April Fool's Day. It was a long process, but I was finally able to separate from the family business. It's the same day I actually quit drinking alcohol. I was scared out of my mind, starting a business with nothing and a family and a house. And I knew I had some historical data that I'd be okay maybe, but still really scary. So I just think I didn't want any excuses for my mind, not for anything else. But, and for me, I was drinking too much alcohol, too much wine at night, etc. So I thought, hey, let's stop. I was scared, but let's stop. And I haven't looked back since. Now I can go to bed without passing out. I can go to bed and think about my day and think about mindset and what I can do tomorrow to make myself even better. Those little things, those nuances that you can do, like your morning routines, so critical thinking to be, more powerful, because the decks are stacked against you as a small business. I mean, it's not easy, as anybody knows. It's not going to be all. It's a tough journey, but make all these things that they stack into your favor. It makes the journey so rewarding at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think, like you said, it's think about, like you said, tomorrow, how you're going to be better tomorrow. And constantly improving, as you said. And I bet as well, like with your product, it must feel very nice and positive that you're providing value to other people through what you do. And, seeing other people buy your product and have a great time with their family and have good pizza and make, good food of it.
Yeah, I'm really grateful every single day. One, we have a really great product. Like, I'm glad I listened to my gut and went forward, because had I not, I would have missed all these experiences, right? I mean, over the last 5 years, hands down, my life is just a different level. And it's not financially, it's just a different level in satisfaction and mindset. Because I know now what I need to do to, keep that strong. And I'm really grateful I have a great product, and the customer feedback. We have the best customers in the world. The way they post their enthusiasm of making, incredible quality food in a home environment is mind-blowing for people. And it speaks really great volumes for the product that we offer. And we're super lucky and grateful for that matter.
Yeah.
That's the case.
No, exactly. And I think like as well, like pizza is like one of the most popular, foods that there is. Like, I don't know anyone who doesn't like pizza. And I've worked in a lot of restaurants and hotels and been around a lot of different chefs. And I've seen a lot of different pizzas that I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't eat that because of the dough. There's like a certain kind of skill to it. And I've worked in hotels where they've had the stone-based pizza, and there's, like each of their own, whatever they want to use. But for me, I'm quite fussy, and I think there's kind of a skill just to get it right, isn't there? But I think your product kind of nails it from what I've seen on the images and the videos.
Yeah, that's a great point. And that was a big thing. Like, I took the Gary, I was on the, we're making the steels at my family business, which is amazing, but it wasn't about just that. It was, okay, now you got the steel. That's one tool that you need to make epic pizza at home. So we studied like the different recipes, because we knew dough, obviously when you have pizza, everyone knows this, the dough is critical, right? It's got to have flavor. And one thing we realized is that, not going to knock anybody, but most pizzerias, not most, but a lot of them make their dough today for pizza tonight. And what we have found, and not me, but like my research, studying like Kenji Lopez Alt or Peter Reinhardt or Tony Gemignani, these like big names in the pizza world, Chris Bianco. What they do, what the great pizza restaurants do is they ferment their dough for a minimum of 24 hours. So we've taken it a step further and said, well, I think Kenji or Peter Reinhardt said, what if we go 3 days? And the flavor is now really robust. And there's a few things going on, but incredible texture. So we tell folks, when you buy the baking steel, oh, here's a recipe. And if you're having pizza on Friday night, start your dough on Tuesday or Wednesday. That makes a huge difference. So now you've got this incredible dough, using it on an incredible product in your home oven, making better than restaurant quality pizza at home, which is incredible. And I still say that today. It's nuts. It's so good. And that's, there's a couple of added benefits to fermenting long fermented dough, is that it breaks down glutens. It becomes easier on our system to digest. So it's healthier and just better. So baking steel dough, man, doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I think, like you said, during kind of like what's happening, more people are at home, obviously, as well. So it's like, why not? It's perfect. Good time as well. And
it's good timing. Yeah.
I think as well, like, I worked in one place, and I remember they used to buy it in frozen, the dough. And I was like, no. It's nice seeing people making it and everything. Don't just buy it, but as well, like, do you have a favorite kind of pizza recipe or favorite pizza that you like? Do you have like a favorite?
That's a great question. I like a really plain cheese. So in other words, I will like take a nice 3-day fermented dough using an organic flour, and I'll use crushed tomatoes. I've been using these Bianco di Napoli tomatoes, which are just beautiful, crushed with a little bit of salt.
Mm.
And then I just shred a little bit of, I shred my own cheese, obviously for quality, but it's a little bit of low moisture, whole milk mozzarella. That's it. Maybe some basil at the end.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. Simple, simple, simple. But man, it's the best pizza. I don't get tired of it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to share any recipes with anybody.
Yeah.
We're happy to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. No.
To all these.
Yeah. No. Of course, I'd be happy to. I can basically I can put that in the podcast as well, and I can also let people know. And as well, like, did you? I mean, I saw that you're in the Wall Street Journal and the Bon Appetit magazine as well.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever think that would ever happen? I mean, that's massive.
Yeah. Never in my wildest dreams did I know that the product, like a year into this, we were in the Wall Street Journal, Bon Appetit, Food and Wine magazine, and I'm leaving things out. I mean, but every major food, anybody was covering food or pizza at home was covering this. And then, authors, guys that are in the business of making pizza in their restaurants or at home, cookbook authors, all using our products and just love it. So it's been pretty fascinating, for sure. Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. But, I love it.
Yeah. No, I find it really inspiring that you kind of like people say, oh, it's not going to work out, and you kind of shelved it. And I think it's great that you've pushed out your comfort zones, gone into the unknown, and just gone out there, took that leap of faith, and it's kind of working wonders now.
It's a different world, man. It's like there's two worlds. There was one with me not doing this, and there's one with me doing this. And I like the one because I think I've learned a lot about myself and about mindset and getting out of that comfort zone. You got to do it if you want to grow. It's the only way. And I'm still trying to push that and make that happen right today. And it's just you got to spend a lot of time every day on yourself and try to figure out, what I can do better. How other people do it. Like there's some people that are literally just crushing it in this environment. What are they doing? They're sitting around at night drinking wine and hanging out. No chance. They're building their dreams. They're visualizing it happening, and then and then executing. It's a lot of work. It doesn't just happen for no reason. It takes a lot of personal work for sure. Great.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I think that's a really good point as well. Like it's not just sitting back and waiting for it to happen. That mindset of kind of seeing it happen and taking that necessary action as well. And I think like as well, like to kind of like round up, do you have any like role models like professionally, personally, growing up or even now, whether that's in the food industry or
that's great. And I think and they're always evolving. They say you are who you surround yourself with, right? And it's the 5 people that are closest to you. And obviously during COVID, it's tricky, right? You can't be close to anybody besides your family, which is amazing. So I look for mentors online. I belong to a group called Arate, which is part of this Ed Milet on Instagram. He's an incredible, and I wouldn't say he's an inspiration, but he's in the trenches building his own, business and coaching others. This guy, Andy Priscilla, who's the CEO of First Form. I really look up to these guys and the group that they've started of like-minded entrepreneurs to help, help your mindset. And that's a lot of it, by the way, is taking care of yourself first. Like, who would have thought that? Right?
Yeah.
Literally take care of yourself and your mind, and everything else will follow. Versus the other way around, showing up to work early and not taking care of yourself. Well, that's a tough road to go down. Whereas now my mindset is, okay, I try to take care of myself for the first couple of hours in the morning, and then I can work on my brand. Because now I'm like, I can handle a lot more stress and bring it on. I'm ready for it. So it's been a shift for sure. And then it's the little things, the micro things. It's no earth-shattering anything. It's just doing those little steps every single day and being consistent. That's really the secret sauce. No pun intended there. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that, Andreas. And I think like you said, it's that consistency as well, and those small bits, those kind of small things that kind of add up over time, and how important they are as well.
They stack up. They totally stack in your favor. You know, doing whether it be yoga or push-ups or running or walking or exercising. You know, it's a little bit every day, and you know, and visualizing a little bit every day. Always working on it though. You always got to be, you know, always got to be punching, because and it's 7 days a week too, by the way. And it's not Monday through Friday. You know, it's every single day. It's got to be the same. Obviously, with families, things alter, but I have found that it's life. It's not a job. It's a lifestyle, and like I got to work on it every single day, and that's really important. I think, in my humble opinion, for me to be successful, my brand to be successful, you gotta, you know, work on those things.
Yeah. No, I think that's really good points.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's pretty powerful. And like as well, like where can people find you on social media and like
great.
website, things like that?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So we are obviously on Instagram. We're at Baking Steel, BAKING Steel. And we have our YouTube and Twitter and Facebook groups as well. The same name, Baking Steel. We do most of our sales. We built our own Shopify site. We actually just recently launched a UK shop, which is
nice,
super exciting. On Shopify, we're selling our original Baking Steel on Shopify in the UK. So anybody that orders today, it's shipping out tomorrow. So we're really fired up. I mean, the technology today is just so mind-blowing that we're able to, I couldn't do this business 10 years ago, right? The e-commerce side of things, but build a brand, be consistent, and find us at Baking Steel, pretty much anywhere. And obviously you can email me personally, Andres@Baking Steel, and I'm happy to answer any questions for you guys on pizza making, food in general, or just life. Let me know.
Yeah. No, awesome, Andreas. It's really great, and it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. And
thanks, Adam.
You're welcome, and I'll promote your content, and I'll put the descriptions in the bio. And I wish you all the further best in what you're doing. And
thanks, you too, man. It's great. Congratulations on your show, and it's fascinating for you too. It's a big, right? No looking back now, I bet, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I really appreciate it. It's been a journey, and I think it's whole, like you said, it's a big, massive process. And I've learned a lot as a person through doing this, meeting different people, learning about, I think, patience as well.
Yeah, good word. Yeah, it's a good, powerful word. Really good.
Yeah. And I've always kind of wanted to hit the ground running, and it doesn't really work like that. And I've kind of learned that through doing this as well.
Yeah, there's some things you're just out of your control. But just, again, take baby steps along the way, and magic will happen.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, that's awesome. But
great,
no, Andrew, yeah. No, I'll stay in touch with you anyway, but I wish you, have a great day.
Yeah, thanks, man. If there's anything I can do for you too, let me know, okay?
Yeah. No, of course I would.
Thanks, Adam.
You're welcome.